The first part of this question asks us to identify a fraction from the list that was greater than 1. Now, a fraction that is greater than 1 is going to have a numerator, so the number at the top has got to be larger than the number at the bottom. So the example that we had, the number to pick would have been 15 over 11. So a greater numerator than denominator. Sometimes these are referred to as improper fractions or top-heavy fractions. And you can, although we weren't asked to here, we can convert these into mixed numbers. And we do that by seeing how many times does the denominator go into the numerator. In this example, 11 goes into 15 one whole time, and then there are 4 parts remaining. So this is the mixed number equivalent of this top-heavy fraction. The second question asks us to find the fraction that was equivalent to 80%. Now, 80%, I'll just show you how to convert 80% into a fraction. Percentage means out of 100. So I can write 80% as a fraction by simply putting it over 100. Now, I didn't have 80 over 100 as an option in the list. So what you can then do is to cancel down. So straight away I can see that both of those numbers are divisible by 10. So I can cancel down to 8 over 10. And then I spot that 8 and 10, they're both even numbers. So I can divide through by 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So the answer there, the fraction equivalent to 80%, was 4/5. The next question, I was asked to find the fraction that was equivalent to, and equivalent means the same as 0.75. So we start to see the connection between fractions, decimals, and percentages. So how do we turn a decimal into a fraction? Well, again, we can look at the 7 being in the tenths column and the 5 being in the hundredths column. So I could write that as the fraction 75 over 100. Again, we didn't have this as an option in our list, so what we can do is simplify this fraction. So we're looking to cancel down using common factors. I know 5 goes into 75 and 5 also goes into 100. So 5's into 100 is 20, 5's into 75 is 15. Again, I didn't have that as an option, and this still isn't yet in its simplest form. So I can cancel down again, noticing that both will be divisible by 5, which gives me 3 over 4, or 3/4. So 0.75 is equivalent to 3/4, which would be the correct answer for that third part of this problem. And the final part, which one of the fractions was not in its simplest form? So we've already talked about this a little bit already. The answer was 8 over 12, and this is because 8 over 12 was the only fraction that could be cancelled down. So remembering that cancelling down means that there's a common factor that I can use to cancel down the numerator and the denominator. So straight away I can see that this number is divisible by 2 because they're both even numbers. So dividing the top by 2 and the bottom by 2 gives me 4/6. Noticing again, I've still got even numbers, so I can carry on doing division. Dividing by 2 would give me 2 over 3, or 2/3. Now, some of you probably spotted straight away that 4 went into both 8 and 12, so you can go straight from this to this if you can spot the highest common factor, but it's perfectly acceptable to have some additional calculations in the middle.